G'day, Dan here. So, on the back of a couple of videos that I made this week, last few days, sort of had an epiphany and a realisation I've been speaking mostly to parents, entrepreneurial, purpose-driven parents, that they themselves can pass on skills to their children and engage in more constructive conversations, get off their devices and whatnot. And, with the balance of what's going on with the technology and opportunities, and if you're not aware, there's plenty of jobs lost that has occurred and continuing to occur from AI and whatnot, and there's a balance with opportunity with that as well. But my epiphany was mostly around the elderly, like retiree ages, that I know here in Australia there's a depleting superannuation and it could run out. I think it's been used by others potentially. I might be wrong, but I know there's retirees that would have some concerns out there, and there's opportunities for income generation from the technology. It was a major epiphany of mine. You'll see 7 or so years ago when I birthed Unified Purpose was geared around a generative and automated, or to put it very simply, an automated e-commerce solution. And you might have heard of things like Shopify or things like that, but this one was AI 3D generated jewellery in up to 18 karat gold and 3D printed, and limited editions on the blockchain to make it still in an abundant sort of environment, scarce editions of the popular ones. And AI was used for analytics in that case to identify which was most popular, and those numbers at the end of the day. So that's just one example. Now, whether you're into golf and motorbikes or whatnot, whatever your passions and purpose is, then there's an opportunity, and it doesn't have to be in e-commerce. It can be around your wisdom that you've accumulated, the things you've overcome. In a lot of cases, mental side of things as well. I won't name names, but I know one particular gentleman I'm dealing with. He's got, I think, PTS, what's it called? PSDT. Anyway, he's got mental issues from things from the past that he's overcome, many of them, and still overcoming others. Whatever you've overcome in life, someone might just be starting that journey. They might have just had that trigger or trauma point that's caused that. And whether you on your own are going to be the one to support that, or whether you're still going through a percentage of that, there's someone ahead of you that's overcome that issue. So I suppose at the end of the day, the knowledge business and being wisdom, that's actually something that you can monetize and build a community and then build, products around. Another person I've dealt with is around golf, and I gave her the example of the 3D printing where you could do teas or different ornaments that could be fun for a group. Another one like sewing groups, teaching either the mother or in conjunction with the mother and children. It would be a great idea with, young girls, for example, on their devices, and young boys, on their gaming. What are some other things that, the 3D printing and other things that can get their physical hands moving and whatnot. So, long story short, it comes down to secure income. Apart from the financial markets, which, if you're not aware, I've got a background in, and not a huge fan of like the stockbrokers and whatnot, because they don't necessarily, if you're a small-time investor, have your best interests at heart. So there's that opportunity to build your own technology to be that role for you in your busy life. You might be retired and not so busy, but emotion can come into what you're doing on the financial markets. So long story short, what I'm saying is that if you have an interest in an income, an automated income to supplement pension or any retirement funds and whatnot where they don't deplete, you want to use some of those funds to make an investment into that, then I've got some spots open for consultancy around my technology and broad expertise in marketing and whatnot. And where I don't have the answers, I've got the network, I've got, relationships I've formed that, as part of those investments, I'll go and find those people for you. You won't have to be a tech expert or, go and have to approach someone or whatnot, unless you're doing, say, a working group where you're collectively coming together with your wisdom to monetize. And some people have a bit of a bad juju about like selling and monetizing knowledge and whatnot, and especially these days, I suppose, with that being available with AI, but nothing beats a human relationship and human-to-human interaction, question and answers. And if I think we lose that as well, it's not looking good. So, I won't go harping on too much in a long-winded video here, but hopefully you got the message that if you've got some funds there surplus and you're at sort of 50 years plus, the other thing as well, not just for your own sake, but if you're that age and you've got adult children or grandchildren, then part of the consultancy and plan that I'll put together for you would include a conversation and opportunities. Let's discuss their purpose and their passions as well, and open up a conversation for you to have with them in regards to this new world and the opportunities that are within it, things to look out for, how it can correspond with traditional education, and how a project or a business, if it's a startup, can be structured. And ultimately, I'll answer that for you right now. It's going to start with the community. So that knowledge business and the info side of things is I think, critical for anyone, and especially if you're going through a continuous path of learning and development, whether personally or professionally. So I'll leave it at that. Hopefully you've got some value, and do reach out if you need some help, you want a consultation.